like to read a little excerpt here for you. Did you hear about the two monocles that got together and made a spectacle of themselves? This is the Christmas gift. Loaded with moon-faced Italians, Sackett, De Gros and Union Streets in Red Hook are dangerous places for a kid like me to wander among. So I don't complain about not being sent to Red Hook, as I avoid all Italians at any cost, since they eat their own babies, Vincent tells me. And if you cross them, they'll chop up your mother 10 years later, because they have the memory of elephants, and make meatballs out of her and serve her up with pasta and red sauce down a Bay Ridge, because they're a bunch of pagan Catholics fucking animals. In the Navy Yard, men build ships paid for by the government contracts, and this is wartime, so business is good. England is buying, and as far as the manufacturers in Brooklyn are concerned, there should always be wars. All day and night long, steam hammers slam down on hot iron slabs in the Navy Yard foundries, and you can hear the pound of them all the way over at 25 Bridge Street, even making ripples in ragtime Howard's whiskey glasses. When I yell up to Red Donnelly to ask if he needs any messages sent, he just waves his hat in the air, revealing his red hair and fat head atop a barge where he directs cranes and bellows at his bios. The floating piers and pier houses are the terminals under the bridges, like J Street and Fulton Street, have industrial freight tracks dug into the Belgian brick that runs along the waterfront. Cargo is hauled from the ships and floating piers to rail cars that amble in their clicking and their clacking through the neighbourhood and pull up at the warehousing units where the train can cars butt against the platform, and where men with suit and tie and hats of all sorts unload them by hand or by bale hook in the morning sun. It is there under the bridges that Cinders Connolly always shakes my hand and speaks to me like a man, smiling humbly as he's known to, and with a mean set of crooked teeth and scabbing knuckles. The terminals at Atlantic and Baltic take in shipments that mostly go onto automobile trucks to be driven over the bridges to Manhattan, or East Coast, Queens, or Long Island, and wherever else, as it's New York's piers and piers only, that all goods are shipped, since it's well before roads connect the cities to the farms, and before planes are to fill the skies. And everyone knows that it is New York that is the center of the industrial world, now surpassing even old London town with the completion of the Erie Canal years ago. At Baltic, Gibney, the lark speaks with me in a serious tone, and I never seem to realize that it's all up front, as Big Dick comes behind me and picks me up, spinning me upside down. He dumps me in a garbage can, so everyone can have a laugh. But when he's not looking, I punch him in the stomach as hard as I can, though I'm never able to knock the wind from here. Say, you don't want to go to Red Hook anyway, Princess says? Il Mascio is there. That's trouble, real trouble. It interests me greatly, though, Red Hook, so I asked around about it. In fact, asking questions become what I am known for, and it's more than once I am told to shut up. But because I have the hunger for knowing things, I never take it the wrong way. Beat McGarry tells me it's the incumbent Irish that have run Red Hook for many years, but is now overflowing with immigrant Italians. Frankie Vale knows the value of the area, so he often sends in El Mascio to remind the pier house supers and the stevedoring managers that it's only a matter of time until Black Hand takes over. Who is Il Mascio, I ask, but nobody knows. No one, if he's a man or a group of men, no one can answer me, since it or they slink in the shadows, and when the clean-shaven Irish show up, he or they vanish like they never existed or he never existed. Maybe like they exist everywhere, or he does maybe. What's the Black Hand, and what does Frankie Gale have to do with Black Hands in El Mascio? I asked Cinders Connolly, but he won't say. What does El Fascio mean in Italian? No one's sure. But Diego Tom tells me the mail. Like sending letters, like I asked, the postal service? No, man, or boy, mail, M-A-L-E, you know, mail. Oh, that kind of mail. Somewhere I learned that El Mascio is Frankie Young's wing of Italian thugs, or thug who work on the docks and believe in something called the Sicilian Code, and that if they can't reach your mother, they'll kidnap your child for ransom. And if you talk to the police or anyone else, the child will end up in a barrel at the bottom of the Gowanus Canal. And I learned too that El Mascio only appears when the Irish fight among themselves, which happens often, or when the dock boss is sent to Sing Sing or the workhouse, which happens often. And since I can't get straight answers about Italians, and I'm filled with strange stories, I sense there is a mystery around their ways, even if they are Catholic like us. They are a mysterious people, and since they show up only when we are fighting among themselves, I sense they must be in cahoots with the pukas from the stories of my childhood. But then I'm starting to get to the age when the validity of the old stories become questionable, and that only confuses me more. I think of my father and his quips, and though he was speaking of the British being preoccupied with the Germans, he used to say, with your enemy's turmoil comes opportunities, and so it is in Brooklyn with the Italians. Before being sent up to Sing Sing, Magon had long been charged for controlling Red Hook for Guinea. But a couple of months after Magon was sent up, Guinea came under great pressure to take the area by force, and had been coming under the influence of El Mascio in Magon's absence, since that's when the White Handers are most vulnerable.